let's get to your career. Dating scene now. Because you was once married. We're going to talk about your.
We weren't married, but we moved like we were.
Oh, you weren't officially?
No,
okay.
no. But we were solid.
Right.
So we moved like that,
Right.
yeah.
So what's the dating scene now for Roy Wood Jr. now?
I work, bro. I've been single.
So in other words, so that's what you tell them, I work now. Because they say, well, if you wanted to find time, you could find time. You find time for your son.
Yeah, that's my son.
You know is that what they tell you?
Yeah. I've been blessed. I'm blessed now with the eyesight to know when it is a good woman.
Okay.
And I've met one or two, but I also have enough sense to know of what it is I'm trying to build right now.
Right.
And I think what I underestimated in being single again was the idea of also quitting my job at the same time. I quit Daily Show around the same time.
Yes.
And I didn't know what the I was going to do next. And I still have a family to support. Together or not, we remain a family.
Right.
We remain a unit. You remain the most important person in my ecosystem because you're helping me raise the boy. Mm-hmm. So there's certain things that have to be provided for. So yeah, I'm going to work right now. And back to what you were talking about at the top of this, man, about the flowers. Mm-hmm. I can't stop to smell them because I got to keep going. If I stop, the wheels come off of all of this.
Right.
And I don't know if that's a pressure that men put on themselves unnecessarily, but it don't change the truth.
It is. Because you feel you have a sense of responsibility.
Yeah, but it's the truth.
People are counting on you. Yeah, absolutely is.
So I need to be in a space where I can never again be waiting on someone else to choose me, which is what happened at the Daily Show.
Yes.
So to get in that space requires a level of focus and work as the industry that I love starts to change and crumble. Oh, I'm going to do Daily Show, and then I'm going to get me a late night show. Now, no more you ain't. Late night show where? This is the last licks.
Yep.
Jimmy Fallon, Kimmel, them the last licks.
That's it.
Ain't nobody else coming in and doing, I don't know what's going to be next, but it ain't going to be that. Land CNN, cool. Write a book, cool. Sell 2 TV shows, write a movie, cool. You just start putting pots on the stove, pots on the stove.
How many irons can you have in the fire?
I don't know, but I can tell you that figuring out taking one off to put in a relationship and not being sure if that's going to work, and knowing that if any of these other pots fail, the bigger ecosystem that I have a higher responsibility to first suffers. Son will never suffer, my son. He's my only child. So you're going to be straight. Now, I can't do this alone, but you know, it's hard when you're grinding, man, and you're trying to figure out relationships because you almost need someone to just merge in with you in traffic. This idea of stop and courtship, and it's
a merger, huh?
I've never dated under this degree of industry pressure before. And I don't know how to handle it because I don't have anything to recreate. Last time, like when I met my son's mother, I was sitcom, it just got canceled. I'm on ESPN for free 2 days a week, praying that gig lead me to get another college gig. Shout out to Sports Nation and Jamel Hill, his and hers. Bomani Jones used to put me, like, just praying one of them 3 p.m. ESPN shows
hit and give you something else. How much of how your father was to you has rubbed up on you to how you are to your son?
Not a lot. Maybe how I am to women. Maybe some of that. So for perspective, I'm my mom's only child. I'm the 9th of 11 kids.
So your dad had?
A lot.
Yeah.
a fucking.
So is that what caused the separation between your dad and your mom?
To a degree, yeah, a little bit. I got 2 younger halves. You do the math. But I think how my father carried himself professionally was what rubbed off on me. I care about Black people. I use humor to try and tell our stories and to humanize our experiences, to educate people who wouldn't have otherwise paid attention to what we're going through. Period, full stop.
Yep.
And if you look at the body of work that I've built over the last decade, it would support that thesis. Where it comes to parenting, my pops wasn't around a lot because he was out working or he was with his other family. You know, one of the toughest things I had to, you know, if you bring it back to the breakup, right? You start thinking about what your responsibility is to your child and how you plan to build him up. What values am I going to give him?
Okay.
And one of those things has to be how he treats women. Well, he's going to learn that from seeing how I treat women or how people treat his mother. Whatever that dynamic is, I'm oblivious to it. So I can only be concerned with
your side of it.
Correct, with my side of the equation. And the more I looked at love and the more I looked at how to show my son love, my parents didn't sleep in the same room. Truth of the matter is, we in Memphis, I'm wilding out. There's no man in the house. My mom reconciled with my pops to make sure there was somebody in the house to knock my ass out when I started jumping bad. In exchange, free rent, take the money you save, put yourself through law school so you can get out of this situation. And that's what my mama did. That's what my mom worked on. That's what her focus was, grad school, degree.
Mm-hmm.
But most nights my pops wasn't home. And so when I started thinking about the life I wanted to construct for my son, and I started thinking about, well, damn, if I'm gonna show him love, where the fuck did I see it? What the fuck, what was my example of love?
You had a roof over your head, you had food on the table.
Yeah, but a lot of men think that's enough. It ain't.
That's how, in the Black community, that's how we grow.
Clothes on your back, food in your belly, roof over your head. What the fuck else?
That's love.
I paid a cost to be the boss. That's what
In Fences, you remember Denzel when he told his son that very story?
I lived that. And so the more, when I had my son, the more I reflected on it, the more I realized that the best example of love I had was with my pops and his other woman. It's the best example of love. He loved her. For whatever issues he had with my mom, it wasn't love. But when I really sit and think about how he treated that woman, that's who he was out with.
He brought you around her.
To be around my younger brothers, yeah.
So so he had how many kids with this other woman?
2. I had 2 younger halves, yeah.
So you had 2, he had 2 with
my
her?
older half siblings, we were never really that close. Okay. We're cool now.
Okay.
But in terms of every day seeing them, no. The 2 youngers, I saw them
on the reg.
Okay. He scooped me up. My pops would scoop me up from soccer practice, go scoop them. We go to Dairy Queen, stuff like that.
Wow.
And so I had to call my 2 younger brothers and talk to them about what was life like. And this is a conversation I've never wanted to have with them, but I gotta have this conversation if I'm gonna be better to my son. Hey man, walk me through what Pops was like at your crib. On the nights he didn't come.
He wasn't with you, your mom. What was he like?
Through.
Damn.
And they described a man I never met.
So
I don't.
You got an opportunity to see him when he was with your mom. So when they're explaining to you, I mean, he was home, he was at the dinner table, he read the stories, he checking home. What?
Going to their games, bro.
Oh my God.
My pops never did that. And so
man, Roy, that had to hurt.
But you don't unpack it. Imagine being 38 in the delivery room unpacking that shit. in real time while you holding your newborn. Because these are things I've never had to consider. I've never had to consider showing him love because I ain't had no kid. But now I have a kid and I go, well, damn, he needs love. Okay, well, I am him.
I didn't learn it from my pops.
So who did my Aunt JP and Uncle Rick, they love each other. My aunt, like a couple of, but I ain't around them on a regular. My pops is buried next to that one. She died 3 years before my dad. My dad got his and hers
plots.
And we didn't even know he was being buried next to her until we was walking the casket up the hill. That's love. You can be mad about it, or you can be sad about it, or you can take the game and figure out how to apply that to your child. A woman he came home to every night. So if nothing else, it gives me a blueprint of what I should be looking for and what I should want out of a woman and what I should want within a relationship. Mm-hmm. She loved his funky draws, he loved hers. And that wasn't the case at our crib, and that's just what it was.
Was your mom alive when your father passed? Was your mom still alive?
Yeah. My mom's still alive right now.
So
you have to look at, and I really didn't unpack all of this with my mom, but you have to look at it as I've looked at it. You're in Memphis, you're in law school, or you're in grad school at the time. I'm a latchkey kid, bro. We got there, we almost set the apartment complex on fire in the 3rd grade and almost got evicted. So I'm wild. So you just live with this man and y'all just become roommates. And you become whatever shell of yourself to get through this, knowing that your son at least has the checks and balances. And on the behavior side, it was right. It worked. But like one of the hardest things I have to do, because I follow my 2 younger brothers, like love them to death. I follow them on social. Father's Day, Pop's funeral day, Pop's birthday. I usually don't go on social on those days.
Because they're talking about a man that you never knew.
Never knew. They posting pictures with this man, and these are the old school Polaroids that's got the date at the bottom. I can look at the date of the picture and tell you whether or not the heat was on at our house, because my parents was arguing and Pops had pulled, So the idea that I can even learn what type of father I could be from watching through his lens. He was damaged. You were damaged and you sought comfort through women and sex. And you were superb at your job, top of your game. Correspondence dinner, when I got done, a bunch of black journalists who were there at the correspondence dinner came up to me and were telling me about how my pops their first job was working for my dad. 5, 6 people. People who used to work at National Black Network, which eventually became AURN, American Urban Radio Network. That company exists because of my fucking pops and the other people he co-founded with. And they came up to shake my hand and tell me thank you. And like that was a level of respect that I don't know if I'll ever do anything as valuable as that. So you can be mad at this man or you can learn from it. Because either way, you're still going to be in his shadow.
Yeah.
I didn't go by Roy Wood Jr. till he died because I knew it fucked with him.
So
it was the only thing that I knew just fucked with my dad.
Did you think for a second, Roy?
That was
he gave you his name. He didn't give it to the others.
Give me your time. Your name.
Touché.
Like, but the idea of, I remember I came home in the yearbook, it had Roy Wood. He goes, your name is Roy Wood Jr. And I just didn't want to, I just hoped that people didn't know or would assume that I wasn't related. And then when he died my senior year of high school, and I was like, all right, I'll carry it now. I'll carry the torch.
So you did grow up with some level of resentment towards your father.
a little, but it didn't. It came out after I had my son. Because you have your child, bro, and then you start thinking about everything you're gonna do with your son.
That your father didn't do with you.
And then you realize he never did it with you. And you're like, damn. The one thing he did give me that I did appreciate, he made sure that I knew who he was and what he stood for, and that's through being able to shadow him and be around him. But you're only getting half of a person when they get you at work, when you get your parents at work. Right. But I'm grateful for that. And I try to do that with my son. You know, I don't take him everywhere. He knows I do comedy. He knows I'm on TV in some capacity. His classmates' parents, telephone game gets back to him about, oh, his dad is just the thing. But, you know, I try to give him a degree of space away from all of this. Also because it's politics and it's funky, and I just don't want him.
Right.
Be young. You deserve to be young, you know, be your own man. But I don't think that resentment gets you anywhere if you have issues with your father. I think you literally have to look at who the man was and just pick the little pieces, get rid of the rest.
You remember when you was a kid, your mama cooked something you really didn't like, and she put stuff in there, you just pick out the pieces? you pick out the stuff that you like out of the dish?
My mama put bell peppers in her tuna, and when I tell you I used to pick them little bell peppers, and she'd mince them up real.
My grandmother did that with hamburgers. She put onions in the
in the meat. She mixed it in the Yeah. But that's why I'm grateful, bro. I'm grateful that I had so many men that God put in my life that poured knowledge or poured game, be it once, be it multiple times. Like I think that's where I really learned how to love. Was like just being in reflection of taking my own experiences out of it. When have I seen a man be kind and soft with a woman? Okay, there. All right, take the note. All right, cool. I need to make sure I feel that with her, and then I can better identify whether this is somebody I should be with. And that helped. It really did. Like, I hate to say it, but having that conversation with my younger brothers, it helped me immensely in being able to love my son.
But let me ask you, when you talk to her, and people say, you know, communication, be honesty, be honest, be transparent. I don't know if you did or you didn't, when you talk to your uncle or you saw people that had been married and that had been in love, does that better help you understand or paint a picture of what you should be looking for in a mate that you could potentially be your wife?
My uncle Derek, he lost his wife, this was in the 80s, drunk driver. He heard the crash from his house and it devastated him. And I remember going to my Aunt Mary's funeral and seeing my uncle cry over the casket. And he had about a 5-10 year stretch after that, because he's also ex-military. You drop in some PTSD in that mix, along with grieving as a widower. He had a rough stretch.
Yes.
I just say that. He had a really rough stretch that he came out of. And seeing what he became without her helped me understand what she was to him. That's love. And I think through those painful moments, you're able to mine something that's beautiful, man. I'm not, we all wish we could have got a better hand with our parents. I don't care what kind of parent you got. You wish they was more this or more that. But, what really helped me was going on finding your roots and learning so much new information about my dad, and the idea that, I get it. You lost your dad. You ain't had no game. Nobody gave you game.
I was about to say.
Then you get a debilitative injury in high school. My pops got hit by a car chasing behind a girl that just broke up with him. Hip replacements for the rest of his life. Walked with a limp the rest of his life. How you think that informed his opinion of women? what you think walking with a limp did to his confidence for the rest of his life and how he viewed women. I don't know. There's a lot of questions that will forever be unanswered because most of the people that can answer them from his side are dead.
Because I was going to ask you, because a lot of times we learn how to love through how we were loved. You know, your dad, and I was going to ask you, I said, did you ever ask your dad how was his father to him, your grandfather to him, and so forth and so on? So it would probably give you a better picture of how, but you was like, you know what? I don't know a whole lot about this fatherhood. I just know I want to be a better dad to my son than what my father was.
That's it.
That's it. I don't know how this thing going to shape out, but I do know that.
I'll start with that base level thing. I will be present, and I will, and for the life of my relationship with his mother, I was going, like when I travel, hey, I'm sorry, I got to go. But I would explain why I'm going, where I'm going, what I'm doing. And I still do that to this day. Even when we broke up, sat them down, walked them through, hey, here's what's happening with that. But just so you know, me and her ain't got nothing to do with me and you. Everybody's still good, cool.
Right.
But
that was a lot. That's heavy. You got a newborn, you quit your job, and you just broke up with the mother of your child. That's a lot going on.
Well, he's about 6 or 7 at the time of the breakup, but it's still a lot.
Yes.
And so there is a pressure.
Change in his life.
There's a pressure of providing that I don't think men talk about enough. And I don't think women necessarily, I don't want to say don't care, but they have their own battles as well. Mm-hmm. They got their own workplace challenges as well. So I understand you got your issues, but I'm over here fighting this fire over here. Good luck with your fire. I think that, like, I remember some nights watching my son sleep when he was younger, and I would be up at night and just be walking around the house, and to that flower moment where it's like, I live in New York City, bro. I live in New York City. I have a solid job. My family is fed. They're sleeping safe. I remember when I came to New York in 1999, and I was here for 3 days, and I could only afford one meal because I needed the rest of the money for tolls to get back to Alabama. Praying that somebody at the comedy club would offer me a wing or a fry so I could eat that day. And now I'm in this city, and I got furniture, I got a job, my picture on phone booths, I got an hour special coming out, and I'm watching my son sleep peacefully with none of the cares that I had. And it lasts for about 20 seconds. And then the next thought is, how the am I going to keep this all together? And that's the impulse that drives me. That's the impulse that gives you everything you read at the top of the show in my intro. And I don't know if that's for better or for worse.
Do you sleep good?
No.
I suffer the same thing because I can't turn my mind off.
I wake up immediately and there's 20 ways this could go wrong.
Yep.
There's 30 ways this other thing could go wrong. But if I can control it and be in charge of it, I realize what I lack is control. I'm a control freak to a degree. Mm-hmm. I need opportunities that
afford you that.
That afford me that. I'm thankful for CNN. But it is a network. Mm-hmm. All TV shows end. Mm-hmm. One day it will. Hopefully, I'll see it coming or I'll have time. Mm-hmm. But in case I don't,
you have something already. You've already got a garden planted and something else is about to sprout.
Let me get this YouTube shit straight for 2026. I already know what I want to do. Get this book right, sell that book, get a script on that. And that way I know my son can continue to sleep comfortably. That drives me. Mm-hmm. And I know some people would consider that unhealthy, but if it's gotten you more successful every year than the year before since 1998,
doing something right.
doing something right.
What have you learned about money?
That it's just money. It's not gonna make you happy. There's definitely a peace of mind you need to have with it. I'm probably a little reckless, but I think my recklessness comes from stupid shit like Ubering when I could have walked. Yeah, it's like 8 blocks. And it's like, I don't feel like it, nigga. Come get me.
I'm on the corner.
Yeah, but I don't have a lot of vices in that regard. Like even with women, it's not like I'm spending a bunch of money on a million dates and going to exotic locations and shit like that. I don't wear jewelry.
Right.
I get nice sneakers every
Yeah, I
hour
see. You got the
special.
unions.
Hulu paid for these.
Oh, okay.
Buy these. You crazy? No. When I get an hour special, they allocate money for wardrobe.
Yeah.
I spend it all on a shoe. Ankle up.
You a shoe guy.
Ankle up, I got it. It's already in the closet. I know what I'm gonna wear. With the shoe, you're gonna pay for that. So I don't, my relationship with money is, I would say it's decent. I'm not rich in the least.
Right.
But I'm blessed. And, I am the family member that family members call. Which in a way is
huge responsibility, though.
it's a blessing and a curse.
It is. It is. But I've always wanted that. I was the baby.
Yeah.
And my brother had a serious injury, and so I took on the responsibility. And I remember telling my grandmother on her deathbed that I got it. My sister's here right now, and she had a conversation with me. She was telling, I had this conversation with my grandmother in June. My sister had the very conversation with my grandmother in April. I didn't know about it until she told me. She said, Shannon, Granny, like one of my cousins was in the room. And she asked my grandmother, hey, what's going on? She said, hey, Mary, what's wrong? And my grandmother said, I'm dying. And I don't want to leave y'all. My sister said, Granny, it's okay for you to go. I'm going to be okay. Spanky's going to be okay, which is my brother. Shannon's going to be okay. Shannon's going to make sure Mama's okay. Everything's going to be taken care of. I didn't know, Roy, my sister had this conversation with my grandmother in April. I come back along in June. The guy's doing a story because I'm going into the Hall of Fame that August. So he's following me around. We go to the old house. We go to the old high school. When we get back to the nursing home, the retirement facility, my grandmother is crying uncontrollably. So I stop the guy and I go in, and she's crying, and I hold her in my arms and I look at her. I said, Granny. I said, so I already knew what it was. I said, Granny, it's okay. I got it. I said, you and Papa, y'all did what y'all was supposed to do. I got Libby, I got Spanky, and I got Mama. Don't even worry about it. A week later, Roy, she was gone. She needed her baby to tell her that he had it. Once I told her, I let her mind be at ease. My sister called me. She said, Shannon, she gone. I said, for real, Libby? She said, yep. She told my sister and my mom. Because my sister would go up there every day, feed her, bathe her. That's not a responsibility. My sister did that for 2 years, every single day. We'd go up there, make sure she ate her food, make sure she had a blood, change her clothes, do everything.
Stay on top of them folks.
About 5 o'clock, my grandma said, Libby, you and Alice, y'all go. That's my mom, Mary Alice, named after mom. She said, y'all go home. Man, I can't get no rest with y'all here. She sent them home probably around 5:30. They called my sister at 6.
That was it.
Libby, Miss Mary gone. Man, so to hear you say that the responsibility of your siblings and the family, you're who they call. I know what that's like. I've lived that life for the last 30 years.
My only beef is that and I understand this because my mom used to think I was asleep, but I could listen to her making the money calls at night. Hey girl, it's Joyce. I wouldn't call you if I needed, blah, blah, blah. So I understand the courage it takes to admit you need help. But nigga, don't wait until the tow truck is in front of your house.
He done got it
You
lifted
knew
up.
you owed on the fucking car for 2 months, nigga, and now the tow truck is outside, and now I'm trying to Venmo a named Keith. And
Yeah.
it's just like, hey, yeah, he out here right now. He want to talk to you.
What do you want to talk to me about?
And
He ain't got my car.
Meanwhile, I'm on the phone with you, and then there's somebody talking to me. Yeah, 3 minutes. We're gonna. The shot is live in 3 minutes. Come on back over to the set. I'm at work, and I'm like literally Venmo. There's times on the Daily Show where I've just sent a Venmo and put, well, yes, Trevor Noah, I'll tell you what's going on with the Republicans. Like that part of it, I don't like, but I understand where the hesitancy comes from. I wish, man. I wish I'd have had that like luxury of that like last conversation, because prostate cancer is what took my pops. And my pops, when you're 16, you don't even know what you're supposed to be asking, bro. And cancer, like the last year of cancer is just such a nasty, terrible thing. My pops became very mean, like very just angry.
Right.
Which I just wrote out. I didn't take offense to it. I didn't do shit to you today. You just snapping. All right. You in pain, I guess. Whatever. I remember the last conversation I had with my dad. I remember we watched Jeopardy. That was always, we'd watch Jeopardy.
Yeah.
My pops would watch local news because he was mentoring a lot of the anchors on the local affiliates. So he would watch everybody's anchoring and then call them and give them critiques
Feedback.
or whatever. Yeah, give them feedback. At the feedback, we watched Jeopardy. And we're watching Jeopardy, and I make him a baked potato, and I give it to him. He takes a nibble. After about an hour, he give it back. He ain't really touched it. Appetite gone. And he looks at it, he looks at me, he goes, I did all right, didn't I? And I look at the baked potato, go, yeah, you did all right. I'm lying, but all right. Next day I come home, he's in hospice at my older brother's crib. And so, for the most part, I lived my life after that. I didn't go visit him every day because it's hospice. And a lot of the time in the hospital when I was there, it would be a lot of the other women. So if my mom's was there, and then it's some side chick, that's weird. You know what I'm saying? So I would go solo, and that became weird. About a month later, he dies. We're at the funeral, and we're walking away from we're leaving the burial. We're going back to the limos or whatever. And my older sister, Brenda, she comes up to me as we're walking down the hill, and she's like, of all my siblings, all my half siblings, she's like the most spiritual and Jesus and God and the scripture says, Daddy loved you. And I know you may not have always felt that, but Daddy loved you. And no matter what, just remember, he did the best he could. And that shit hit me like a Mack truck, bro. Like, he asked me, I did all right. He wasn't asking about the baked potato. He was asking me how he did
with
raising me. And I missed the fucking window, bro. Not only did I miss the window, I told him he did all right. Because he probably thought I was talking about how he raised me. I was talking about the baked potato. And so,
had you had that window, the window that he left open, had you knew, what would you have told him?
I don't know, but I wouldn't have let him off the hook like that.
Even in the situation, the condition he was in,
There's a soft way
to let him know
say
he
what
could have
you
done
feel.
better.
But it's not even to criticize. It's It's more questions than anything. I never thought about that. I said, damn, I never thought about what I would have asked or what I would have said. I don't think I had the wherewithal or the scope of knowledge. Keep in mind, I'm born, my parents are separated. I'm born in New York, my parents are separated within a year. My mom moves to Mississippi. My whole mama side from Clarksdale.
Okay.
So she moved to Memphis to go to school and be close. So she got the babysitter network with her siblings, right? So I grew up never knowing my father other than the dude who come to visit once a month. And I go see him for a month in the summer through third grade. So the idea of a father was just, this nigga's a guest star in me and my mama's sitcom. Me and my mama the star, daddy just a neighbor who come in and wave from time to time. Then when we move in together in Birmingham, y'all don't really sleep. Y'all in the same room. We don't do any family functions other than breakfast. On Sunday breakfast was sacred. But outside of that, you're not home. Everybody worked different schedules. He's a morning radio man. He gone before I'm up for school. And by the time I come home from school, he back out at night to do his jazz show and then hit the bars and, socialize, hit the lounges and all, and drink some of it. Like, he out there.
Right.
So we never kept the same clock.
Okay.
So I'm not even crossing you in the hallway for you to give me game. Just off the nature of our schedules.
Yes.
So you take something like that and then it becomes, you need to be around more. Because I've learned I tried doing mentorship programs and stuff. I'm not the right person. Literacy, sports, I'll give money to mentor. Because what I found, or at least what I believe, is that male guidance, it's these microscopic moments that happen. It's not a full 3-4 hour day, let's go bowling, let's go, where you might ask something or not. You just have to be around. And then the moment your child shows a window of wanting some knowledge, you jump in. And so the weeks I have my son, I schedule my life differently. We getting that meal. I might go back out in these clubs and tell my jokes tonight, but first set's not going to be till 9 because I want you in the bed 8:30 and we're going to talk. Babysitter pull up 8:25, I'm out the door. But the idea of just not being around, as much as I can, I'm trying to fight that, bro, because I don't want to be a guest star in his fucking sitcom. That's my biggest fear with my son, is that I become the dude that's always gone, oh, he provided. And then he the one sitting here with you talking about, motherfucker, I won't at the time. So the only way to create that is to work like a psychopath at building something from the ground up for yourself that you control, that is not susceptible to corporate mergers, that's not susceptible to an administration leaning on your supervisors, getting them to fire you. That takes time. So I'm sorry, I can't go on the date you want me to go on with you, or I can't be present in the way you want, because this is paramount right now. It won't always be that way, but that's what is, because I know on the other side of this is growth and freedom, man. And I know I can do that.
HBCU. Why did you decide to go to an HBCU?
I feel like I will be appreciated there. It's a beautiful thing, black colleges, man. My mother, my pops graduated Morehouse, and then he taught at FAMU.
Okay.
My mama FAM, she was Delta State before that, then FAM for grad. My aunt was FAM, then Tennessee State. Mm-hmm. It's just culture there. I feel like in Birmingham city schools are all predominantly black, and marching band culture is a big deal. So
for sure.
There's this kind of a natural graduation from a black school system
To an HBCU.
To an HBCU. Like it just felt no brainer.
Seamless transition. It seems
right. I never thought about anywhere else. I only applied to 3 colleges out of high school. I applied to FAM, Clark, and Tennessee State.
Clark, you going to the AU Center, huh?
I found out Tennessee State didn't have a baseball team, so they was out. Because I thought I was still,
Right.
every motherfucker.
You gonna be Jackie
except-
Robinson?
Yeah. I was gonna be Ryan Sandberg.
Okay, right, okay.
Second baseman.
Yeah.
And I ended up going to FAM because I felt like it was just going to be a better experience. It wasn't a knock on Clark, but I was just like, smaller school, and there weren't a lot of people from my school going to FAM. I think Stephanie and Shauna, I think it was like 2 or 3 people from my high school. I just wanted to be, college, you get to reinvent yourself.
Correct.
You get to be a whole new
You get to
person.
they don't know you.
Correct. And so I chose FAM. I tried out for baseball, got cut in 30 minutes.
Damn. Are you sure you were a baseball player?
I was in high school, I guess. But baseball, I thought I had a week, bro. I thought I had a week. Like in high school, tryouts is a week.
Yes.
We will evaluate you on these disciplines every day.
Yeah.
College baseball, they say we gonna give y'all 45 minutes. And every 45 minutes, we calling out numbers. And if your number ain't called, go home.
Wow.
And my shit got called in 30 minutes. I said, I thought I had 45. They said, we've seen enough.
So what was it? The fielding? Was it the hitting? Was it the throwing?
It was everything, nigga. It was terrible. What do you mean? What specific? No, I just did. I didn't play in high school enough. I didn't play summer ball. I didn't play fall ball. My parents used to argue a lot. And in those times, my pops wouldn't pay bills.
Oh.
I'm going to show y'all what So sometimes a bill wouldn't get paid.
And so bill couldn't get paid. You couldn't go play baseball.
You come home, the lights off.
Yeah.
So you go through that freshman and sophomore year. By my junior year of high school, I was working 30 hours a week, man, which is illegal. I should be at home playing, but I'm working. You figure out how to circumvent all that labor law shit.
You're theoretically the man of the house as a kid.
I'm not paying the bills, but my mama know I got it upstairs in that Batman can. I had a little Batman can with Michael Keaton on the side. And I had cash in that.
Right.
All right, he ain't paid the light bill. But now my grade's suffering. But I knew I was good with standardized tests, so I wasn't really tripping on it. But
so you've always.
But I worked, man. I worked so that I could have independence. I didn't want. You grow up listening to your mama borrow money from niggas over and over and over again. The only way to keep that from happening is to be able to self-sustain.
Right.
So to self-sustain, you got to work.
Correct.
So I rate leaves. I walked up to the Church's Chicken across from West End High School. Hey, man, I know you clean this parking lot every day at 3:00. Give me $10 and I'll do it. Start working with him. Go across the street to the Citgo. Hey, man, I clean Church's parking lot. Tell you what, instead of giving me $10, give me $10 worth of candy and write it off as shoplifting. Say, bet. I take that $10, I walk it back to school the next day, sell that for $30. So, yeah, I missed the baseball camp. And then you get to college and you go, oh shit, they got Cubans. I had never seen a Cuban, ain't met one. Because you gotta remember, I'm all black neighborhood.
Yeah, Birmingham.
It's like,
unfortunately, there are no Cubans in Birmingham.
it's 2 Guatemalans and a Vietnamese. That's all I knew until high school. I got to college, they had a Cuban on the mound. That motherfucker. I said, I'm going to Shoney's. Fucking left.
Did you understand the responsibility that you were undertaking, even though you were a child and you was working and your mom would, you would help your mom with bills, but you kind of grew up as a responsibility as the man or the head of the house, even though as a child, that's not a child's responsibility.
No.
Do you feel like you ever had a chance to be a child?
No. Not once we moved to Birmingham. No. I mean, I went through therapy for a while on it, but even when I look back on the credit card licks I was running in college, originally my thought was, oh, I act like this because I'm an adrenaline junkie. There's a degree of excitement to committing crime.
Yeah.
It just is. And if you're into jumping out of planes or whatever, I highly recommend committing felonies.
They run that car, you're like, oh, like, damn. I ain't Mr. Purcell. I ain't Mr. Purcell, but they don't know right now.
It's called a code 6. So in the 90s, the machine would show a code 6, which means that the car was stolen, or they need to call the card company to verify that shit. And then they call the card company in front of you at the register and then hand you the phone. And you on the phone with the card company. Hello, yes, I am Mr. Purcell. And then they go, what's your social and your billing zip code? And I go, 32J9X. Oh, yes. Oh. Well, you know what? I thought I had more money on the card. So that's why it didn't go through. It didn't go through because I don't have enough money on the card. Great. All right, no problem. Thank you so much. The whole time, the person on the phone is going, give the phone back to the cashier. Give the phone back to the cashier. Oh, so it didn't go through because I don't have understood. Click. Now you have, as long as it takes them to call the store back
to get your ass up
out of this store. A rush. But when I really started digging deep on myself, I did this so I wouldn't be a burden on my mom. My mom, absent of my father, those first K through 3 in Memphis, calling asking people for money. I don't want you to have to do that no more. So
did you feel a sense of embarrassment? Were you embarrassed by that?
Embarrassed.
Because nobody you knew, maybe the grown-ups, but you didn't have kids. Like, it's one thing if kids know you're poor or know you don't have things to eat or you don't have decent clothes. That's one thing. That's something entirely different. Did any kids know that you were in this situation, or were they just grown-ups?
No, because I'm the son of the most popular journalist in the city of Birmingham.
So they think you got it good. They think you, they're like, man, Roy got it good.
We had a nice 2-story house. I had a basketball goal. I had a plexiglass backboard. We had a couple of decent things.
Right.
But also the heat wasn't on. So what the fuck? So yeah, you get a little older, you start working, you start raking leaves around the neighborhood. Bro, I would rake leaves. $10 front, $15 front and back. And then I would take the bags of leaves, and at night, I would go to a house that didn't have leaves in the yard.
And pull the leaves out. Come on, Roy. I just see a criminal enterprise right here. This is what I see, a criminal enterprise, Roy.
Wait 2 days, come back to your crib, look like you got a lot of leaves.
Well, I did before you pulled them out my yard.
$10, $15 front and back, $10 front, $15 front and back. And that was the lick. But now I don't have to ask my mama for a Nintendo tape. I don't have to ask her for the Ken Griffey's. I ain't got to ask her for the Sammy Sosa Cubs batting practice jersey, 1994. I got it. Just give me a ride to the mall, Joyce. That's all I need. Because the bus don't go that far. I wouldn't even burden you with the transportation. So you grow up like that. And the other thing, I think the other downside to all of it is that within that hustle, you grow up alone. I think the best and worst people are comfortable alone. I'm extremely comfortable alone. I got suspended from school. You made your whole lick. You made your whole lick selling stolen shit on a college campus. If you ain't the plug no more, what's your social capital? Who with you? Nobody. You on the road doing comedy, and then when I first started, I was on the bus. I'm ironing my suit on fucking baby changers. I'm alone. You get used to that.
Can I ask you a question?
So you get to where I am now, and it's like, well, in the relationship.
Can you distinguish the difference between being alone and being lonely?
I don't know.
Because I don't believe those things are mutually exclusive.
I
believe you can be alone.
I think the problem with loneliness is that you will sometimes remedy it with people that are corrosive or activities that are corrosive.
Agreed.
And I think that's the problem with true loneliness, is that you can immediately become so desperate for human contact that you're willing to do anything, go anywhere, hang with anybody.
You accept anyone into that circle.
Yeah, I'm blessed in that, I had a couple of tight partners in college. My partner Brooke Williams, there was a time when a lot of people didn't with me in school. You become radioactive once you get arrested.
Yeah.
And you're on probation, so I can't even be around the people that I used to hang because they doing dirt.
Yeah.
You might be the snitch. And keep in mind, when you get arrested, they show you pictures of every that's committing crimes within the metro area and ask you if you know them.
No, I don't. Damn, I know it.
And you do. You know 90% of the mugshots, but you go, I don't know him. I ain't never been around him. So I can't come around you anymore because if they catch you, what that make me look like?
Right.
So you're alone. Comedy is a loner sport. You live alone in your thoughts on the long drives. You're alone in the hotel rooms. That's why so many comedians fall into drugs and women.
Kat, that's what Kat said. Because it's alone. It's, you start work at 10 o'clock at night and you sleep till 6 o'clock in the afternoon because you don't go to bed till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And look, I'm interested to know, did you ever get called a Nepo baby? Because your father was an icon.
I never got called that.
Maybe because you didn't go in the profession that he was in.
I mean, technically I did. I mean, what's interesting is that I don't feel like black people get called Nepo babies in the same way that white people do, because I feel like
Bronny James did.
Yeah, Bronny, that's a whole nother that's a whole nother level. But like, oh, your dad's civil rights icon and you on the Daily Show talking about black issues.
Right.
The only reason you there is because my daddy didn't give me this.
Nah.
I mean, there are definitely, my pops died in 95, but also there are a great deal of people who I'm sure give me opportunities because they knew my dad or because they respect his legacy. But I still think we in a show improve atmosphere, Bronny included.
Wow.
Okay, you got skipped to the front of the line. We could argue the stats and say somebody else should have went in the second round. But sooner or later, Bronny got to put the basket in the hoop or he's going to be gone. Same as anybody else in the league.
We're gonna finish up on this. You said your dad was a good father, but a questionable husband.
Terrible husband. Yeah.
You think your mom, did you ever see your mom stay up at night crying, wondering where he was, when he was coming home? She just accepted the fact, this is who he is, this is who she married, and this is what I'm going to deal with.
My mom knew what it was. My mom had an exit strategy. You're in a fucked situation, you don't gain anything from sitting here being sad about it. What's your way out? Okay, grad school, law school, bet. How do you pay for it? Move in with him. The boy gets a dad to beat the shit out of him if he jump bad. And at night, I can go be in school. The boy will be straight because the pops will be home and latchkey. He's fine. Okay. That's going to be my way out. I don't think that my mom, and I say think because she and I never talked about it. We still haven't talked about it yet. But I think that my mom and I, we just looked at it as, I've always looked at my mom and I as a team. We've always had each other's back. And I think that to some degree, the way my pops chose to treat her, she did not allow to define her. You can get the divorce and all, okay, fine, but that's the playbook she chose to run. I never saw my mama cry over that man. I never saw my mama stressed out over how he chose to treat her. I just saw a woman every night who worked hard and asked for help when she needed it. And now in the later years of her life is a vessel of kindness to so many other people. Like, she's the epitome of paying it forward.
So no, would you say we are not our circumstances, but what we become from our circumstances? Because a lot of times people will let their circumstances define who they are. Man, I came from this situation. This is how I am. I grew up like this. This is how I am. What did you become? Who are you from those circumstances?
I didn't have the best father, but I became a great father.
You didn't let those circumstances define you.
No. I didn't have the best examples of love, but I still seek the opportunity to create that construct for my son. And I will. I just think that there has to be an order to some of it, because what I don't necessarily know, and I think a lot of men deal with this and don't necessarily admit it or know how to explain it to women, but finding yourself and being comfortable with where you are career-wise and fiscally, a lot of that is a solo journey for men. Oh, you want to help me? You want to pour into me? You want to be my helpmeet? You want to be equally yoked? Okay. But there's still part of this for me that I have to go at alone first. Right. And then you can come and merge in and pour into me and help. Because if you don't know whether or not you can do this yourself, then there's a degree of wondering who you are and what you are.
The book, The Man of Many Fathers, comes out October 28th. What are the top 3 lessons you hope men learn from this book?
I hope that men learn from my book that it is okay if you didn't get everything from your dad. That was the first thing that I really learned, was that, I didn't get it all from him, but I got everything I needed. When we talk about values, if it could be something as silly as don't snitch, but it could also be something as random as, comedians that I know that have passed on who gave me the game on the importance of picking someone in terms of a mate that's supportive of you. I think that's a mistake that a lot of people make, in this game.
I hear Mary Harmon say that the most important thing the most important decision you'll ever make is who you choose to marry.
It's very true. I agree with that. And I mean, as an unmarried man, I couldn't agree with that anymore. I think that also the degree of knowing and understanding that you're okay in spite of how you came up. I don't think that it's very easy as a man to just write off the who, what, wins of a lot of shit and just go, oh, well, my daddy didn't do this, so I ain't shit. No, you got worth, man. You matter. And being present for those kids, that's important. It's paramount. And I think that regardless of when your father passed, I think we're all men of many fathers. We're all poured into by innumerable people in our lives. And I think if you stopped and took stock of any of those people, you would be blown away at how many lessons you might have missed, that it's dope to be able to sit back and just think about now and reinforce and be able to pass that on to your kids. I look at my son every day, man, and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that like I wouldn't have achieved half I've achieved in the last 10 years if not for his presence. There's a drive in that.
2 weeks after your dad passed, you was like, you heard from him. Like,
Oh, yeah. That showed up as a ghost. For 2 weeks straight. And it's weird because, number one, I believe in ghosts. I
Do
believe
you?
in all that.
You believe in the supernatural?
Yes. I don't with Ouija boards. I don't with haunted houses. It's all real to me.
That was a big thing when I was in college. They wanted to play the Ouija board. And you remember that?
Because of Bone Thugs and Harmony. Ouija, are you with me?
And you remember that the 8-ball, that thing you...
Magic 8-ball? No, sir. Don't touch it. Do not touch it. Not my thing. Like that stuff, man. It's weird because like I heard my pop's ghost, but all I heard him doing was getting ready for work.
Yeah, we go through his normal routine.
I'm like, well, you still got a job? You're dead. Kick it.
I thought you was coming back to tell me you had some money buried
No,
somewhere.
sir. He came back because that's how bad the economy is. You gotta stay at it.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party because you know we like to do something before 2 something.